Haters are gonna hate. Well, I'm gonna talk about the doTERRA versus the Young Living haters out there. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. It's gonna get real. Real good, that is. Hey, this is Lance McGowan with Essential Oils Me, and whether you are a hater for doTERRA or Young Living or essential oils or whatever it is, or you've been hated on, this video is for you because I'm going to cover more of the psychology that's involved around hating, as it's called, so we can, help ourselves or help other people put down the haterade, stop eating all the French fries and just, no more wambulances out there. Just the truth and seeking understanding and just helping people with, all these oils, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to cover all that in the next section.
Hey, this is Lance McGowan with Essential Oils Me, and today we're gonna talk about and break down the doTERRA versus Young Living haters. Because whether you are one or you know somebody that is, this video is going to help you kind of just get some more overall insight as to what's going on from a psychology standpoint. Because I'm all about breaking things down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so I don't know what that was. We're going to talk about this. So when it comes to just haters in general, presuppositions rule today. So you got her on the left, she arguing with him like, she may be with doTERRA, he may be with Young Living, they just going at it. Or they may just be like saying, "What's that?" About to give each other a high five. It depends on how you interpret stuff, which I'm gonna talk about as well. Anyways, the definition of a presupposition is to take for granted in advance, suppose, or assume beforehand. And so that is really important to keep in mind. In other words, you are right, and anything they say that goes against that is wrong. And that is what a presupposition is. But that doesn't factor in the bigger picture. And so, what can happen though, I've seen this happen. People can move from hater to frenemy, half friend, half enemy, to fan. And so, I've seen that on the Young Living side. I've seen that on the doTERRA side. And so what my goal is, my heart's intent is really just to help you be objective and to be fact-based and to really just make sure you're representing both sides, fairly. Because some people may be very passionate about, just like that picture right there. All right, now another really important psychological concept has to do with cognitive biases, and we all have them, just to what degree, how often, and the real question is, are you aware that you're doing it? Most people know. But that's what this video is for, so you can kind of be like, oh, okay, that's what Lance was talking about when I say this, or think that, or do that. All right, so cognitive dissonance 101. Put your thinking caps on. All right, so what it is, it's feeling uncomfortable or insecure after holding two opposing beliefs in your head at the same time. That happens all the time. We hear one thing and then we hear another, and we're like, I can't hold both in my head, so I can only choose one. And the one is going to be the one we agree with, basically. So an example would be you can only have high quality essential oils if you own your own farms. And so we would associate in our mind, if that statement was true in our mind, that ownership of farms equals high quality versus, third party testing versus, chemical constituents of the actual oil versus the elevation, the soil quality. Was there pesticides or herbicides in there or residue? Like, those are just four things I'm listing. I mean, there's probably like 10 to 20 things that make the absence of alcohol, solvents, making sure there's no fillers and contaminants, and being able to verify that as a consumer. Like, there's so many things. This video is not going to talk about all that because I already had another video. Actually, I got multiple videos on that, so you can check those out. But the point of it is, it makes it hard to say, wow, like, you can have a high quality essential oil whether you own your own farms or not. And there's actually something else that I need to look at that makes it have more of a better or bigger perspective. And so that's really the point. But because it's hard to think that if you're biased, we all have different biases, but if you're not aware of that bias, then what can happen is it can lead to this next thing I'm going to talk about, which is confirmation bias. And it makes you want to be like, I told you so, like you're looking. So basically, it's unconsciously, have that in parentheses, or because most people don't know they're doing it. and most people don't even know what it's called. I didn't know until I started watching some Tai Lopez videos. I was just like, oh, so that's what it means. So that's really what it comes down to. But it's unconsciously referencing people, websites, or studies that only support your own point of view. And so basically, it's searching for the information that only supports your agenda, point of view, stance, position. The reality is that people judge themselves on intention and judge others on their actions. And so when we think about all of this, it's like, all right, somebody may, who is a hater or receiving the hate, well, we'll just talk about the hater. Like the hater may be like, okay, well, I feel like I'm right because I can only hold one thing in my mind, which is, the thing that supports my agenda or my position, and I have good intent. I want to share my opinion, or I want to talk about what I believe is true, and whether or not that, if all the facts are there, whether or not the facts are accurate, or whether the interpretation of those facts is there. I mean, those are actually, that's what I'm gonna cover in the next video, because I couldn't fit all the doTERRA versus hater young living principles in one, so I created a whole nother video, but I'm gonna talk about that a little later. But the point I'm trying to make here is that people judge themselves on intention and judge others on their actions. And so when you're somebody who's receiving the hate, you're like, dang, homie, like, what's up? Like, why are you coming at me like that? Or why are you attacking this or attacking that? And so that we only see their actions, which is, in the form of their words or comments or whatever it is. And it's because when you don't state your intent up front, people only can go off of how what you say or do makes them feel. So if it makes them feel, judged, or like you're being way subjective, or you're being biased, or whatever it is, then that's going to be a factor. So one solution would be to state your intent. Like, my intent is to seek the truth. My intent is to seek understanding. My intent is that, and then have your actions and words support that intent. And so that when people hear that, then they can better associate, like, oh, okay, they're not trying to bash, they're not trying to attack, they're not trying to, front stab, backstab, whatever it is. And so that is something to really keep in mind. The next steps are to click the links in the description to watch part 2, because again, like I said, there's just too much stuff to cover in one video. All right.
When it comes to deconstructive criticism, haters, whatever you want to call it, there's some really important things, and I believe some life skills that you can take away from this video. Number one is understanding the concept of presuppositions, how basically you have your position and you are there, right? You got that mindset. You are like, you got the fork, the flag and the fort, and you're like, I'm waving the flag of whatever this is, right? And then if anybody comes along to contradict that, if you believe they're automatically wrong, I believe that's not a good objective mindset. We have to look at all the facts, not just the ones that support our own agenda. That's important. And then the other concept of cognitive dissonance is so important. I mean, being able to hold two opposing beliefs in your head at the same time and still try to be as objective as you can. I mean, we all gonna have biases. I mean, that's what the whole cognitive biases concept is about, which, I'm gonna talk about in my next video. But the point I'm trying to make is just being aware of that. I mean, self-awareness is so important. And then finally, when you look at the confirmation bias, when we search and try to find things that support our agenda, I mean, you really have to look at what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I believe that goes beyond doTERRA and Young Living. That goes for your relationships. That goes for your finances. That goes for your health. That goes for how you spend your time. That's for everything. And it's so important to just have those skill sets, because they will benefit you in life. Just if you take anything away from this video, just being more self-aware is going to be just so much more beneficial for you. And hopefully that's one of the big takeaways you can get from this video, and either become less of a hater or to handle haters more productively, you know what I'm saying? Even if that just means being the bigger person, right? Walking away, letting them know where you stand respectfully, but then, dropping it and leaving it alone, or just, trying to always seek truth and understanding. But if they're not down for that, then sometimes you just got to create distance. Just, that's it. But anyways, that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click the subscribe button so you can catch more video updates, or click one of the links in the description box below so you can continue to get your learn on.